Happy Sunday, everybody. How you doing? I'm meteorologist Chris Mulkey here in for Brittany this morning, and it's Sunday. And today isn't going to be a bad day. It's not as good as Saturday. Saturday felt great. Only hit the mid 80s. Today we're looking at the upper 80s, close to 90, and it feels a lot more humid. So we start with this graphic. How you feel cast. Today is the only day over the next four that it's going to be really feeling uncomfortably humid. And you don't feel that right away. I think it feels most uncomfortable, most humid as we are working our way into the evening. And speaking of, I think that's our biggest window of opportunity as far as those storms are concerned. So here's the setup. For one, for severe weather to happen, you need a bunch of things to line up. For one, thunderstorms need warm, moist air that makes it unstable to even happen. They can pop up on their own. But whenever you have a front, some sort of lifting mechanism, and then on top of that, you also have, say, wind shear, which can corkscrew it up, or it can make the storm rotate, that's going to be a higher potential. So you almost have this cross here. We have a trough that moves through this afternoon, and then you have the actual front that rolls through later on this evening. So in my opinion, this is going to create what's called a 1-2 punch, not a technical weather term, but that's what it's going to do today. Punch number one is likely going to be a near miss where you just get grazed. Later on tonight, that's where I think you have a much better chance and opportunity for things to really start to roll through. So here's what we're expecting. We're expecting a storm or two for the afternoon, and then it's much higher as we're working our way through the latter part of the day heading into the evening. These graphics are not changing on me, so hold on one sec. Let me try to get this rolling for us. So you can see that cold front. There we go. Now we're going to be starting to move. A cold front is already pushing into the eastern side of Tennessee, but right now we're seeing a little bit of rain. Now that is going to try to work its way in. One thing that I think it's going to bust our 90-degree temperature forecast for today. I wanted to say 89 so badly since we've hit 89 6 times now. Many times when we said it was going to be 90, but I think this cloud cover that's rolling through is really going to mess things up. Already right now, I'm looking up at our different sky cams. We just have some upper level clouds, but I think those clouds are going to become a lot more prevalent as we work our way through the day. So we have a low risk for storms, not necessarily for the first round we could see this afternoon, but I think it's really after 5, 6 o'clock that we have most of the activity that is going to be in the area. So again, yellow, low risk for storms. Lightning's always going to be up there, especially with the moisture environment that we have today. Gusty winds could form, especially if they glob together. Hail is still a low chance, and I think this only comes in an isolated thunderstorm with some flooding. And then last but not least, do you have a near zero chance for tornadoes? I don't think that's happening today. You don't really have things lining up, a lot of things fighting against it. But if any thunderstorms on its own, especially mid to late afternoon, that's going to be your highest hail threat. So let's call that up to 6 is the highest hail threat. Better chance for gustier winds after 6 o'clock. So before 6, hail, after 6, winds, but both can come on either side of the hour. So I think winds is still number one here. And then, of course, I mentioned some of the active lightning. So here it is. I'm going to show you two different models. Model one, I will say straight up, I think is being a little bit too aggressive. This one has almost a near supercell forming after 2. So after 2 is the time that we need to be weather aware. So we're calling this our weather aware window that we need to be concerned that a pop-up storm is possible. So from 2 to 6, you might have 1 or 2 on the map. Those are low odds, but if it does hit you, that's going to mess up an outdoor event or whatever you have planned. But you're noticing that the map gets a lot busier heading into the evening hours. Here's 9 o'clock. Scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some severe thunderstorm warnings are possible at this point. And then this could last as late as midnight. If it comes out in this scenario, you're actually looking at almost a bowing echo. So a bow echo is possible. That'd be a lot of strong winds along it. The time of night, I think likely this isn't going to come into fruition. You could have some rain heading into tomorrow. Model 2. This one's usually a little bit more trustworthy. This one shows still a chance for a pop-up shower or storm in the afternoon, but the window I've been calling for is 5 to 10. 5 to 10 is the time to be weather aware because notice what this has. It has a strong cell. That could be a single one rotating on its own, but multiple of these individual cells could be impacting the area. That's why we only have about a 30% chance for rain for today itself, because we're talking about coverage area where only 30% of us realistically could be impacted. But I hate these forecasts for a lot of you because you might have a friend up the road, and let's call Matthews, say, hey, I didn't see anything. Meanwhile, your friend in Huntersville gets slammed during the late afternoon, heading into the evening. So that's the type of scenario that we have today. This is not a storm chance for everyone. And then we'll keep that rain around heading into tomorrow. Now, Model 2 is showing that we have a wet morning commute. I believe this one. This is a decaying system that's rolling through. And then once the front is passed, we're actually setting ourselves up for a pretty fantastic forecast. So again, the weather aware window. I'm not calling this a weather aware day, even though you do have a chance for severe thunderstorms. You usually like to go those when it's a little bit higher. Hey, everyone's going to be impacted. 5 to 10, best chance for gusty winds, the dangerous lightning, the heavy downpours, and an isolated storm, even with some larger hail if we wanted to add another box onto that list. So weather aware window 5 to 10. But I want to get to another fact that's happening after this. We've been chasing 90 degrees and we haven't been able to hit it. I have 90 because we have everything in place that could get us there. But this has now been 6 times that we've been so close, maybe a few tenths of a degree from at least 89.5 or 89.51, which would get us up to that rounding up to 90. We still haven't hit it. Where realistically, this time of the season, we should have already done it once or at least a few times. Where May 20th is usually our average first. Last year, we did it on June 3rd. Even if we hit 90 degrees today, it's still the 25th latest, or at least tied for the 25th latest since 1878. So we're chasing 90 degrees. If we do not hit it today, we will hit it this week. This is our first chance of a heat wave. Now, once we head into summer, pretty much everything is the criteria for a heat wave where 3 days or more of 90 degrees or greater. But another secondary definition of a heat wave is a period of abnormally and uncomfortably hot and unusually humid weather. So we will be more humid at this point, but we average 85 degrees right now. 90 to 93 would be abnormally warm. So this would be our first technical heat wave, also checking off both definitions, and that's Thursday through Sunday. At that point, you also have a chance for isolated thunderstorms, but sometimes it can be almost too warm because it doesn't really set up the right thunderstorm criteria. So storm chances today, tonight, and then we cool off for what I'm calling the sweet spot on Monday and Tuesday. That's going to be a great day. I'm awesome because the dew points are taking a dive at that point. So the sweet spot is definitely Monday and Tuesday, 85, 84, feeling great, starting off around 60 degrees before we really start to see that moisture return. So it feels the most comfortable on these days. Soon these are going to become witchcraft and wizardry that you don't see anymore. Because look at all this plume of moisture that's moving up through Florida. This is going to create a lot of rain. This is the tropical moisture that feeds tropical storms, tropical cyclones, hurricanes heading into the latter months of summer. So whenever you see a setup like this, you show that moisture is going to be definitely jumping. It's going to feel a lot more humid and certainly a lot hotter here soon. So in sum, enjoy your Monday and Tuesday because this is going to be the best feeling days so you might have for the foreseeable future for a while. So stay weather aware today, knowing that chance for storms, again, isolated chance during the afternoon, 5 to 10, I think it's going to be the best chance to be weather aware and the highest instability. I'm meteorologist Chris Mulkey. I always appreciate you here joining me online and, of course, always on air as well. Brad Panovich is going to be in a little bit later on tonight, also active online as he always is throughout the day. But then at 6 and 11 o'clock, you can catch us on WCNC Charlotte. Take care.